Hey everyone, G-Force41 here with another casual preview. It's been quite some time since I did a casual preview. I'm remiss in getting some of these out. I've been busy with other videos and tutorials. I hope you're enjoying those. But I need to get back to doing some videos for the casuals. So we're going to take a look at week 8, a preview of week 8. We're going to go with Mojave Sky by Irish Golf. When I played this the first time, it had 70 plays. Are you kidding? This course needs a little bit more love. It deserves it. Nick's an excellent designer. We featured one of his courses, I believe it was Veranda Preserve, last season, and it's going to kick off week 8 for us. So that's going to be April 24th. We are ending week 6 right now, heading into week 7. So when this video is released, it will be week 7. So this will be the following Monday, and we'll talk about the other courses featured that week shortly. But let's talk about this real quick and get to it. Mojave Sky is Nick's entry in the CC contest. So it's inspired by Shadow Creek, Las Vegas. So it's kind of a desert theme. And you can read all about it on the forums. But I'm going to play it from the back tees. First hole location, and there's no wind preference, so I go with my default, which is medium and northeast. Let's get right to the golf. All right, let's take a look. Hole number 1. Pretty little scene going. So there's a few elements here outlined. I'll talk about those as we go along. But you can see here, we're starting off a fairly simple par 4. Sorry, I check those tee boxes habitually. I gotta stop doing those in the videos. A little bit of a narrowing fairway. Not a ton of strategy here. Let's look at the hole. The green looks good. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get rolling. So there's some required elements in the CC contest this year. I haven't been paying too much attention. I've been judging the rookie contest. But I guess you have to hit some required elements. So we'll talk about that after the shot. So if you're watching my other videos, I've been big on the greens going the correct direction or the perceived direction, so that you'd expect this to be moving towards the water, which it does. It's a little gentle. Could be a little bit more severe of a slope. I wouldn't say severe, a little bit stronger of a slope going in wouldn't hurt there. But so far, very simple opening hole. Makes sense. Pretty good introduction to the course. I'm big on keeping it simple the first hole. I don't know if I've talked too much in my videos about the times I have not kept it simple on the first hole and I've suffered the wrath. We're just going to putt that. See what these greens are actually rolling at. I did do one quick trip around. I don't think I played the whole course. So they're going at 165. Oh, and I totally missed. Hopefully I have my putting woes behind me. And I won't make you suffer through too many 3-putts this round. So his required elements, he's got at least one 3-shot par 5. That's the 13th, so that'll be a long one. 4 par 4s under 400. So there'll be some short ones. 5, 8, 10, and 15. And the entire course to be contained in a square or rectangular area of 1,000 by 1,000. So that's kind of cool. It gives you a little, a constraint to build around. Because sometimes I know I've tended to spread my course out way too wide in the past. So that's not a bad constraint to put on yourself if you're a designer. Give yourself a little bit of a box to put yourself into and be creative. Because that's what most courses are designed, right? You've only got a little piece of land, little in terms of building a golf course, of course, and there's only so much you can do with it. And that's how a lot of architects get their kind of creative juices flowing. So this one's heading a little bit of a shelf up there, heading down to that little river. That could be the ravine. I'll talk about the other elements in a minute. Kind of flattish. Little plateau there. Again, you don't have this, a little bit puddly there, I would say this whole thing could be going moving that way. Again, a little picky. That's a lot of the stuff I've been talking about on the videos. Nothing horrendous there, but just checking out the detail. Oh, it's fluid too high. And it's in. I did that yesterday in real golf, believe it or not. I was playing my first round of the year, and I was not swinging particularly well. And I was really getting focused on the 14th hole. Just started thinking about what I needed to do right, and damned if I didn't flush one. Just hit a 7-iron perfectly right over the green. So I was having a rough day, and I actually hit one right. And I put it over the green. Get in. Okay, so the other required it's not a required element. He said other elements, one par 5 under 550, so that's the third coming up now. And then the pasatiempo, a single ravine, a creek, or a barranca that interacts with at least 6 holes, right? So if you've played pasatiempo, and we've played that on the casuals, Alistair Mackenzie Classic, you know there's a barranca that goes through the whole course. Not through the whole, well, it interacts with a lot of holes, namely, I guess 6. I never counted, but I trust the folks running the CC contest that it's 6. So this is kind of a cape hole. My only observation so far, it's a little flat. Obviously, Doug Air, it's a desert course, it's going to be flat, but it doesn't have to be super duper flat. I think that's part of the challenge with desert courses. They get a little dull and repetitive because they're mainly flat. Should have had a little bit of a draw on that one. Did not. So this is the shortest par 5, and I totally blew the tee shot. But we're snug up there, pretty close anyway. So you gotta be careful with that. You know, the elevation changes make it interesting and give you some variety. Having only done one of these desert type courses, I know it's a challenge to come up with interesting and unique holes that are not repetitive. So we'll see how Nick does here. Get in. So far so good. Good planting. It's hard to plant these desert type courses, but he looks like he's done a good job with the surroundings. They tend to look too bare and kind of barren. But he's got a nice planting scheme, especially look at this right here in front of the tee. Excellent. So good job so far. So what you run into in a lot of these desert courses is this fairway stops. This is plenty of room. We'll talk about this as I hit the drive. Lots of times when you stop the fairway for quote unquote no reason, people say, why did the fairway stop for no reason? Here you've got plenty of room. Usually it's something a little bit more severe than just the bunker. It's sometimes a big hill, a ravine, a water, either it's a creek or a stream or something like that. So you just gotta be careful, because I know a lot of these desert courses have those features where you have a fairway and it just stops. And it's kind of like, you're going from one fairway hopping to the next one. And then sometimes people call it, well, it's target golf or something like that. But it's to have a reason. So we'll see how he does with these. And even the greens, if they're not, ooh, oh, come on. That would have been nice after the first hole. It's hard to make the greens interesting if it's completely, well, not completely, if it's a relatively flat course. So, okay, 1-3 shot, I'm sorry. At least, yeah, sorry, this is one of the short ones. At least 4 par 4s under 400, so here's a short one, which you can tell by the spline being at 250. So this one's kind of, alright, I like these where they're not, this could be drivable with the wind. If you're a little bit longer hitter than I am, I got not enough, especially into the wind, so we're going to lay it back. Might even go shorter. What's that going to leave me with? A little strategery here. 230 is going to be about 109, but I got the wind in my face, so we're going to hit 250. I cut it just a bit to offset that wind. But good. I like this hole. I like the strategy. I like these par 4s where they're just not quite drivable. This one could be with the wind, like I said. But I like the shorter kind of drive and pitch holes that make you think about where your approach should be from, right? Because some people just blast it, and then you get, you know, snookered into that 63-yard pitch shot, which nobody's good at, right? So 75 is a pretty good yardage. That I know I can get fairly snug, which I did. Could have been better. Totally pulled the putt. So birdie up there. So basically that's 2 birdie ops in a row. Okay, this one's going left to right. How much do you want to cut off? Kind of hole. Fairways are fairly narrow. A hole like this, I would say sometimes you want to give it a little bit more over here to let the player decide whether they want to bail out or not and have a little bit longer shot in. Here, obviously, you've got a little bit of angle on the approach, so this is fairly good. So I want to look at this and say, you know, you don't want to be going at it from out here, so you do want to be kind of over here. And we got some wind, so I'm going to cut this a little. Go right there. Over that second bunker. Cut it a little. And I'm going to go all the way through. So now you got a little bit of a funky shot. Alright. So strategically not a bad one again. This might be a little bit puddle green again. That's the only thing I've noticed. It's very, very slight here where you've kind of got the greens. It's going down and down here. And it's not really, I guess it's kind of going down here, and you might say it's pitched this way. Just the pitch, I'm not sure which way this would go. I would almost think if you got a high side over here, this might actually be more of a low side, but it's kind of banked up here. Nothing wrong with it, but again, it's not quite a puddle green like I call it, but close. But not a bad hole. I think some simple strategy, it's fine. Plays just fine. And again, I just always offer these comments as just helpful tips. Never intending any criticism. If I was, I wouldn't be doing a video of anybody's course. I would never do that to anybody. But Nick is coming along as a fine designer, and Veranda Preserve was excellent and well received on the casuals. Yeah, again, this one, it kind of flattens out. Let me see if I can find it for you. Right about here, it just kind of flattens out. Again, I would say, you know, go with a general slope of the green. It's kind of going one way then the other. It's just, again, a little off. I would think this one would be pitched this way. The general slope of the green would be that way. So it's kind of going a little all over the place. But let's see. So 230 into the wind. I'm going to give a little of this, a little of that. It can wind up being pretty good. It's going to catch the backstop. Come on down, Ernie Bach Jr. Any locals in Massachusetts will recognize that commercial. Series of car commercials that were played over and over and over again, where the jingle sticks in your head. Okay, 8. This is going to be another short 4, according to the write-up in the forum. And it indeed is. So, yeah, so this is another one where the fairways split. You know, not a bad 4. Again, kind of flattish. You're going downhill. You can't see the green. I don't think that's a bad choice putting those trees there. It doesn't. You can't really see the green that way, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of reason to turn that fairway off to the side and just cut it off. I would say you can put some water there, right? You can kind of continue the water, make that a bridge, you know, off by that path. Kind of have the water go under that path and come out this way. Could have added some water there. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of reason to stop the fairway there. But again, I know a lot of these courses do that, so I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying to make it even more interesting, you might have added a little bit more of extension of that water while you were at it. Or just like a barranca, like I said, barranca, like a ravine, where you can kind of see that water would be draining into the other bigger water body. But I really do like the planting. Gives it a very authentic feel. Like a nice, finely manicured course that you might find, like in Nevada, where there's a lot of vacationers and things like that. Some nice subtle touches. K9 is a par 5. Not a ton going on off the tee. So you got 2 ways to go about it. So again, you might, if you didn't hit the fairway, you might not want to go this way. You might have to go out this way. So that's fair. And you can see how if this was a real course, mere mortals like us who don't hit it 292 yards in the air, might have to take this route and then hit a wedge over this stuff. But we don't have to, because we all hit the ball 252 with the 3-wood. If I can hit it 250 with the driver right now, I'd be happy. I did blast one about 260, 270 yesterday. On the 18th hole, of course. The proverbial keep you coming back shot. The 18th tee shot was my best of the day. I hammered the drive dead center with the slight draw. Got it out there almost 270. Which is good, because I hit about 5 or 6 toppers off the tee. I kid you not. It was a rough first day on the course. Okay. 10, another short 4. Can you drive it? Not today for me. That's a little too risky. Could I get to that fairway? Down 29? Probably. I'm going to do that just to see. But let's see what else you could do here. Yeah, that's fine. There's some other options here. So strategically, that's fine by me. And the green is moving down to the water as you would expect it. But what the hell? We're going to have some fun and blast one down here. I think I can make that fairway. Yeah, you can see that green would have been that probably would have hit the front or hit those rocks. Is that going through? Oh, man. It's all right. Little chip. And it's rolling all the way down. I had a funny feeling that would happen. Did Pull it off, though. Oh, just went right at the last second. Good holo. Par 3. Buck 75. That is tucked for first hole location. There you go. That's why this is almost a little Redan-like. You got a hill on the front. Redan's a little bit more kind of the whole front right is pitched towards the back left, and they're a little longer, but so it's a little Redan-like. And again, it's just a little bit of this kind of puddly. Everything's kind of puddling down here. You've got, I think everything kind of goes that way. You could have a little section that goes that way, but you know, right here, I don't know where this would drain. I don't think it would. Again, that's my kind of, I don't say being particular. It's just my observation and the way I do greens is I try to make them natural and flow a little bit, and that was the reason I did that 2-part video series. Get in. Good rock work there. But good hole. So yeah, I think the variety's working. Like I said, it's easy to get repetitive in these type courses, so you got to be careful. So far, so good. Got a par 4. Let's look at the green. There you go. Not a lot of magic off the tee. One of the other elements, the cue, it's called. More than one competitive and usable tee set that can be manipulated. So he has some manipulated tees, which means I said I picked the back tees. I guess these probably aren't the back. They're mixed, right? So, you know, the different tees one might be longer, one color might be longer or shorter depending on the tee manipulation. So this is interesting. You got a back section here. Obviously, there's got to be a pin back there. Creative. I don't mind these. Some people might look at that and think it's a little gimmicky, but I don't. I don't mind greens that kind of slip off to the back. Absolutely fine by me. All right. Nice. Par 5 coming up. This is the long one. 13. This should be a 3-shot hole. 631 yards. Oh my goodness. So let's take a look. Not a lot of magic there. No fairway bunkers. It's up by the green. Kind of falls off that way, so you're going to have kind of a little collection area if you miss off to the right. So yeah, this is pretty straight away. So it's 631 yards, have at it. I kind of like that idea when you have these big long holes. Just no magic, just hit the damn ball. There's a lot of par 4s around here like that I like. I pick a long, simple par 4, right? You just hit the damn thing. If you hit it solidly good, if it's offline, you're gonna have a long hole, right? We're not even gonna come close, but we should get up that hill even into the wind. Just barely make it. But that's fine. That's a good for a 3-shot hole. And I'm all for the 3-shot hole. Par 5s are par 5s for a reason. They should not be long 4s. I think we have a tendency as designers and in this community to make them gettable, to appease the masses. which I'm guilty of, but I'm also guilty of not appeasing the masses and getting an earful about it. But gotta shake it up, right? I tend to do that. I tend to have one longer five, one shorter, and then two that are kind of medium. And for me, medium is that kind of 575 range, right? Where you know you could reach it with no wind, but it's going to be harder to reach. You have two good shots into the wind, you could barely reach it. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of how I try to do most of my fives. It's going to depend on the wind and whether or not you can get there. Because if you make them too short, if you make it reachable with into the wind, well, what if you have the wind at your back? It's going to be like a par four, for crying out loud, right? So, part of the problem where everybody hitting at 340 yards. So this looks interesting. So now we got this ravine kind of coming through, this little stream, and you got another tucked pin for the. This is the one hole location. Nick's giving us a hard time here on the one hole location. Kind of makes you say, what the hell does 4 look like? But that's definitely got to be the hardest. Oh, come on. Location on this green by far. There's no way. I'm sure there's 2 pins here. There's got to be probably one back there, right? 82, 84 on the lie with the wind. I'm going to do that and give it some loft. That would be good for if there is a location there. It's going to be a little double breaker. So hopefully that slows down and takes that break. That's looking good. Oh, just too firm. That would have fallen right in the hole. It's another double breaker going back. Just missed that. The only thing I'd say is right by that bridge you could do a little bit of planting. Put a bush or two. See, there's nothing there. I always put a bush or cut some shrubs. Somebody could even put some flowers or something. So I think that was going with the decor as you see around the rest of the course. 15. I think this is the last shortish 4. It's longer than the other ones. So it kind of narrows at the driving landing area. Which to me says, yeah, nope, we're doing that. I blocked it. How do you like that? Slowed it. Oh, and I just trickle in. Come on. Hopefully that's enough. It's not going to be. Simple little chip. It's going to be too much. A little hint of shadow on the green. I like that. Some people get all up in arms about shadows on the greens. I am not one of them. As long as the whole thing isn't in the shadow. Alright, 16. Simple. We want to be going at it from over there. I like this green. Like I said, I don't always want the greens going one direction. I hope that's not what people are getting the impression of when I talk about the greens being puddly and stuff. But I think he pulled it off nicely here, where this, you know, you got a hill here and a hill here, and it's a little bit of kind of reminds me of Augusta 8 kind of thing. And then you got a section in here that's pinnable. That's fine. This is uphill between 2 hills. It's nestled in there. This front, holy cow, it's a little bit of a false front to say the least. Now that's a false front. People always say, you know, when you hit into a green that's elevated and it goes downhill because of basically that's nature, right? And gravity. Oh, it's a false front. No, that's a false front. Okay. Just because it goes downhill does not make it a false front. Come on. Get closer than that. That's gonna be good. Hey. Take that. The final par 3. Oh, it's a little snug. Over a pond. Kind of goes off that way. Just want to see this other section of the green. Bad. I like this idea. Although I'm not sure you really need the two kind of tiers here, but I think it makes it interesting. Because if you miss, you're going to roll down the other side. 14 down and 7. Yeah, I'm going to do a little of this. This is flirting with disaster, but yeah, it was about the right club. So I was right. Just didn't hit a good shot. But I hit a good chip. There you go. Can he finish with 3 in a row? Let's see. I was going to say, I think we're looking at a par 5 to finish here. 572. Like I said, those are kind of the medium lengths that I tend to make. Now the wind's not in our favor here, so we'll see if we can do this. It's going to be drivable or not. All right, so we're jeez, I forgot to tell everybody about week 8. I told you in the intro we're it's going to talk about the casuals schedule, and I never did. So this is starting off week 8. The Monday, Tuesday event is this Mojave Sky by Irish Golf. Wednesday, Thursday event is going to be Lower Fishing Lake. The CC contest entry from Maddie from Canada. That is a gem, a rustic gem. But if you haven't played that, that is a treat. And then it's major championship week. So the big weekend, there's going to be the USA Championship, as we have to call it, at Peconic Fields. So that's Shinnecock Hills inspired by course by R.J. Wills. That's really good. So that's going to be a heck of a week. So week 8 starting April 24th. It's Mojave Sky, Lower Fishing Lake, and Peconic Fields. So don't miss it. It's going to be a hell of a week. And we are looking at just barely making it. So you see what I mean by that comment earlier? It's got the wind in your face. You're barely going to make it, and probably we're going to come up a little short, considering that's 18 feet up the hill. It's 7-mile-an-hour wind in our face. We're going to hit right into that base of the, and just, oh, we trickled on. You get a good hop, you trickle on. You get a bad hop. Technically we're on the fringe. Close enough. I'm going to putt that. Why not? Got a good view coming in. Is that going to be too hot? Way too hot. Extremely too hot. Off the back, too hot. Come on. But it served its purpose, right? You think you get on and you're rewarded. Well, you're rewarded with a 100-foot putt, or whatever, 90-foot putt, which most of us in real life are not even going to get close. We'll do pretty much what I just did there. All right, tap in the finish. Awesome. Mojave Sky, Irish Golf. Nick, great job. Another gem from Nick. Like I said, this will bat lead off week 8 on 4/24. So again, thank you so much for joining. Keep your eyes out for more design tip videos. I'm going to do a few playthroughs by request that people have asked me to critique their course. And of course, I'll be doing more casual previews. If there's anything you want to see out here in terms of content, something in the designer that you're curious about, a technique or something like that, or you want your course reviewed and critiqued for some coaching, so to speak, let me know. Thanks for joining. like and subscribe. Talk to you soon, everybody.